I questioned why, because first I'm not in the know if a certain Foden and this other guy was actually out on injury. But now when that game started and I saw the starting lineup for Manchester City, I questioned the lineup. But again, the coach has the best has a better definition of his choice of game plan. Now going into that match, I wasn't expecting Manchester City to be that floppy through the whole of the 90 minutes. But again, that is what it is for them. Now, remember, I have been one of these persons that have been saying the time Erling Haaland joined Manchester City, and a certain Kevin De Bruyne was very active then. You discover that Haaland was boxing in and out every week and week in, week out. He was getting the goals. And I was this voice that said, take away this young man, Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland will be finding it difficult. Now, if you just put all the hope on one player, it's a problem. Now look at the depth in form of some of the players in Manchester City. Their cohesion, their communication when it comes to play, it's no longer there for them. I feel they're gradually losing confidence in themselves. And for me, if you ask me, Senator, this is the point where the coach now, I'm talking about Pep Guardiola, should look at the squad and either take a bow, go to another team, or like he will always do, go on a sabbatical, maybe a 1 month, a 1 season sabbatical, 2 season sabbatical, take a refresher, then come back into the game. And when you are coming better. Now, look at, yes, he has been in Manchester City and he has won virtually everything with Manchester City. When he left Barcelona, when he went to Bayern, was it Bayern? Yes, he won virtually everything. He's a very good coach. But at the point when it's no longer working for you, you need to take a detour. You need to take another route and see that, okay, no, let me take a chill pill. Let me rest for a while. Or even go out of the bus, take a rest, then come back, refreshed again. So at this point, I feel maybe by the end of the season, Pep Guardiola should leave Manchester City and come back again, not to Manchester City, but to any other club as very refreshed coach. And don't forget, age again is coming on him with all of this hard work and all. So it's another big thing that he himself need to look out for.
What I said always, I believe that in long seasons, every 2 days, 3 days, 2 days, 3 days, everybody has to involve, but maybe it was too much seeing the result. I think they play to don't make a mistake, instead to play to do what you have to do. And what you are thinking to avoid, to don't punish the team, you are not free, you are not relaxed, but not just with the ball, without the ball, we were close but not aggressive enough, and they are a really, really good team. Congratulate, of course, Leverkusen, but yeah, it is what it is. Take absolutely full responsibility, but as I think I see them, and I like to everybody be involved, be a football player. When you are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, don't play. Is it's tough, but yeah, maybe it was too much. Yeah,
Sure.
in a big team, you have to, show off and yeah, it's a lack of the other one, but everyone, the guys who come from the bench was the same, and so it was slippery 10 times. Every shoot was blocked, and they are a fantastic team, fantastic players. So I'm not saying the opposite, but yeah, it's maybe with players that play regularly lately, and maybe we'll be confident for the new players come. So it's a good question, but
If you listen carefully to what Pep said, the end bit of his statement is, I take full responsibility for the loss. Now, yes, he is the coach, so he should take responsibility for the loss. But the fans will not always be wanting you to take responsibility. Taking responsibility is giving them the maximum 3 points. Taking responsibility do not pay the club. On that, does it take the financial responsibility or the financial burden of the club off? Yes, we understand that he is taking responsibility. He is playing mature in all of this, but the club needs to win. The club needs to now. It was supposed to be a big night for Manchester City if they have won, but again, it turned around for them. So it's a good one that Pep has come up to. He said a whole lot of things, but what bothers me most is, yeah, he's accepting that he's taking responsibility, but for how long? will he be taking responsibility? What we need him to do is change tactics, bring out other plans to see that yes, your club gives you the very best and your players are giving you the best. The fans need to be happy because they deserve to be happy.
Truth or faith for him yesterday, he paid off. Chelsea also, with Barcelona in the Champions League, Chelsea became the first club in 53 games to stop Barcelona from scoring. Now, how best can you see the Chelsea side yesterday against Barcelona, guys?
For me, personally, it's, as you said, it's a big win, especially because the other team was Barcelona. But nothing changed in terms of what team we are, what we can achieve. So for sure it's important tonight game, but no more than that. It's finished. Now focus on the next one that it's difficult again. Estevao, he had very good game, not only for the goal, because he helped a lot the team in the way we were pressing. Liam also need this kind of moment goal because he's back from injury. I think against Burnley was quite good, but it's a 9, it's a striker, and they need goal. But tonight we scored 3. I think 3 more or 2 more. I don't remember. Disallowed 3 more disallowed. So I think we create enough to to win the game. The feeling was very good, especially as you said, because it was at home with our fans. It's always nice to share this kind of moment. But now I told the players next 48 hours completely switch off, our rest, recovery energy, because then Sunday we have Arsenal. But my message after the game was just recovery energy, that in this moment is the most important thing. And then from Friday we start to think about Arsenal. Estevao needs relax. He needs to enjoy. He needs to session. He needs to play football. Him, Lamine, they are so young with 18 that if you start to talk about Messi, Ronaldo, I think it's too much pressure for young boy like them. So 18, they need to enjoy. They need to arrive at the training ground, happy session. But when you start to compare them with Messi or with Ronaldo, I think it's too much for them.
When Messi and Ronaldo, okay, let me allow you to talk about the match first before we get to that.
Okay, I was actually going to pick up from the player, what the coach actually submitted about comparing the players to legend players already. But looking at yesterday's match, my match analysis yesterday, I did talk about the coaches coming out with their technical prowess. That their technical prowess will definitely be put to test yesterday. Now, if you look at again the lineup of the Barcelona team, I wonder why what's this guy's name? Rashford. Yes, Rashford can be on the bench, but what's his name again? Rafinha. I wonder why Rafinha came into that game during the second half.
He just returned. I think he had just barely 10 minutes against.
He had Athletic. Just about 10 minutes yesterday.
Against Athletic over the weekend. He was his first match after a long
after coming from injury. Yes, but you know that there are players who weaken teams. There are players that their presence alone, even if they're not going to be contributing actively. Now, yesterday, what was the contribution of a certain Lamine Yamal? For me, he wasn't in the game. And at a point, now, before the match, I think after their match against Atletico, where he said that the big match for them is what they had over the weekend. They only have a game coming up on Tuesday. And it was a shock to all of them. Like Geoffrey said, now if you look at that match yesterday, for the first blast of the whistle to the end, it was more of a Chelsea game. It was more like what happened between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Gabon. And Democratic Republic of Congo. That was exactly what happened yesterday. From the first blast of the whistle to the last. Now imagine Chelsea making at least 6 goals attempts, and 3 were disqualified for various reasons, and 3 had and 3 stood out. Now look at that own goal from Conde. For me, I will not blame him for that own goal because the ball was already between his legs. For him, he was only trying to do a pull to let him just remove his legs.
But yesterday, it's as if his leg was buried on the ground.
Yes, but at least
his pace was very
now,
poor.
Geoffrey, you also look at the pressure in that game. Look at when Chelsea got the first from Chelsea first attempt that was disqualified as an offside. From that first attempt that was disqualified as an offside, you discover that Chelsea were putting serious pressure. Now, up until the first half ended, Chelsea was winning, but they were the one pressuring Barcelona as if they were the one losing. Now, Barcelona do not come to the party at all. And now look at all the young boys, everyone in that game. For me, I was expecting a certain Cucurella to hold Lamine Yamal the way he did. But people were thinking that because Lamine Yamal is younger, so he was going to run riot over a certain Cucurella. But it wasn't for him yesterday. Virtually everybody in the blue jersey yesterday came out with all the eagerness. They came out just for the badge. And I think they lived up to expectation for themselves yesterday. But for the Barcelona team, I really do not know what happened to Barcelona yesterday. And like Geoffrey said, the captain has been, I think if the captain ban is becoming heavier on it, yes, it's a responsibility. But for a player, an experienced player, who knows that already he's done on a yellow card, that tackle was unnecessary. That tackle was unnecessary. You're not the last man. You have players covering for you. And this guy is actually a bit far from the 18-yard box.
And he was not even in a danger area. I think
you are not in a danger area. You have players behind you. So why that foul? I think, for me, Reggio plays yesterday like an inexperienced player. But again, it's a night that Barcelona should not forget in a hurry. And like Geoffrey said, again, the head-to-head for Chelsea is still growing against Barcelona. Yes, we expected beautiful football yesterday, not what we really expected, but it was also a night that Barcelona and Chelsea will not forget in a hurry.
All right, away from that,
Arsenal Bayern Munich, for me, it's going to be a very eye or mouth-watering match to watch, because if you look at Arsenal so far, Arsenal has been in a very good form this season. Topping the English Premier League, with Chelsea just sitting right behind them. Now, in also remember that Arsenal has not been this very active when it comes to European scene. But now,
first versus second today.
Yes, in the Champions League.
Yesterday it was 11 versus 12.
It was 11 versus 12. So now Arsenal is actually trying to come up, and I think for me, I love what Mikel Arteta is actually doing with Arsenal. But my only problem with Arsenal in the Premier League is the 11th tears that comes always on them. They will almost win syndrome. But today in the Champions League, I am sure that Arsenal is going to pull out a very serious night for their opponent. Because if you look at now coming from the Premier League with the win over the weekend, they are coming in with that rejuvenated idea, rejuvenated breath to see that yes, we keep our Champions League hope alive. Arsenal has been one very top team in England that have not tested what it looks like to lift the Champions League trophy. And who knows, it might be an end to that with this season. Scoreline for Arsenal, I would say 2-1 in favor of Arsenal.
Geoffrey, actually thinking like the Zerefs of this world will be the one to take over the reins of the Rafael Nadal, the Novak Djokovic, but all of a sudden here we are, a brand new rivalry, you want to say, in the world of tennis.
Now, Senator, like you said, it's a generational talent that these two are gradually becoming into. Just 22, 24. I think Alcaraz is just 22, and Sinner is 24. Now, and like 4 major titles, I think 4 or 5 major titles, just divided by for 2 consecutive years now. It's just the both of them taking charge. And like you also pointed out, they've created for themselves a gap. It's just the both of us and the rest. So there are only 3 tennis players now, if you ask me. Alcaraz, Sinner, and the rest. That's what they've just created for themselves. But again, now this rivalry, for me, is going to take them a long while to push it up, because they'll still need to grow into this game. And you know that one thing with tennis is the more you get into it, the better you become. And when you get to a point when it's drawing you close to your retirement, that's where you need to see, or your energy is being tested again, because at that point you will be looking like, okay, you really do not have the energy again, because your limbs are weak and all. That's where some of the injuries are pulling out and all. So that's the point where I feel that rivalry is going to be coming down. But for now, for these two young lads, I think they're actually there and they're on top of their game and they're doing so well. Now, if you look at the likes of Djokovic and the rest of them, they're Rafael Nadal. When it was a huge time for Rafael Nadal, we also saw what those guys were bringing into the play. When the Williams family, of course, then in the female category, you saw what their style of play and all was. But now there are new sheriffs in town, and they're living up to the expectation of what the game and the fans deserve.
Christian.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful night of football again as we return back to Champions League. Yes, fancy your seat bet. Don't forget, if you see something, say something. The police is always your friend.